forgotten chapel in the woods. I've always been a solitary person, spending my childhood immersed in video games, and later finding solace in long walks through forests and old cemeteries. As a teen, I got hooked on trespassing, sneaking into places I wasn't supposed to be, first cemeteries at night, then abandoned buildings like hospitals and schools. Driving made it easier to reach these spots, and I usually went alone, savoring the quiet thrill. Fear never really gripped me back then, or at least I thought it didn't. I'd scout locations using satellite maps, zooming into rural areas to spot dilapidated structures, compiling lists of 5 to 10 places to hit in a day. Some were duds, still occupied, but I got good at picking the abandoned ones. One day, my list led me to a crumbling chapel deep in a wooded area. I parked on a gravel path and hiked about 15 minutes, wearing my usual jeans and sturdy boots to navigate the brush. Scattered, day-bruised buckets and broken bottles hinted I was close. Then I saw it, a small, decaying chapel in a clearing with a stone well out front. I checked the well. It wasn't sealed, just a deep, dark void. As I listened, a faint tick-tick echoed from below, rhythmic, every 2 seconds, like a pebble tapping stone, not water. I lingered, almost entranced, before shaking it off and heading to the chapel. The porch groaned under my weight, boards sagging. The double doors were ajar, typical for lesser-known ruins. I pushed one open, and it creaked loudly, the sound bouncing through the trees. Inside, dust hung heavy in the air, lit by fractured light streaming through broken stained glass windows. Pews were toppled or missing, and the pulpit leaned crookedly. I snapped photos with my old digital camera, capturing the haunting beauty of the decay. A shadowed doorway behind the pulpit caught my eye, leading to a narrow hall with splintered doors and cobwebs. At the end, a staircase descended into darkness. Basements always thrilled me, but this one felt off. A chill hit me, but I brushed it aside and started down. The steps creaked loudly, and on the 7th, one snapped beneath me. I fell hard, landing on my tailbone in a pile of dirt and debris below. Cursing under my breath, I scrambled for my flashlight, which had skittered away. Then I heard Ida's voice, high-pitched, maybe a woman or a child, muttering gibberish, but clearly saying hello once. I froze, sweeping my flashlight around. The basement was cluttered with broken furniture and stone walls, but a rough, hand-dug tunnel gaped in one corner. The voice came from there. I stepped closer, curiosity overriding sense. My flashlight flickered, and I smacked it to keep it on, the noise echoing. The voice grew louder, still incoherent, then stopped. Silence, then tick-tick. The same rhythm as the well, louder now, echoing from the tunnel. My heart raced. I turned and bolted, reaching the broken stairs. I grabbed the railings to haul myself up, ignoring the missing step. My flashlight fell, but I didn't care. I sprinted through the hall, past the pulpit, and out the doors, past the well now silent. No ticks, no birds, just eerie quiet. I glanced into the well's blackness once more, then ran to my car, breathless. I skipped the rest of my list that day, driving home in silence, radio off. I didn't quit exploring, but I took a long break. I tell myself it was just kids messing around, but deep down, I'm not sure. That sound, that voice, they still haunt me. The strange farmstead my friends, John and Anthony and I, love outdoor adventures. But one trip still sticks with me. We were bored one day and decided to fish in a stream near some farmland. A farmer and his dog chased us off, threatening to call the cops while chatting on his phone, which we found odd but laughed off. For some reason, we thought it'd be fun to sneak back the next evening, just before dusk, to explore the property. It was massive, sprawling acres with dense woods. We'd scoped it on maps, but still got turned around. I remember thinking we needed to be out before dark. At first, it felt normal, no bad vibes. We petted some horses, noting how strange it was that the farm only had horses. Unlike my cousin's place, with pigs, chickens, and more. We shrugged it off, assuming the owner just loved horses. Asterisk, we reached the fence and crept through, finding a rundown house, a beat-up RV, and a yard full of high-end cars, Porsches, Corvettes, Bentleys, some stripped for parts. It screamed, "Chop shop." We filmed it, whispering excitedly about the find. A creepy shed nearby reeked of something foul, but we laughed, joking about bodies. John, the smallest, checked the RV while Anthony kept watch. I held the door. Inside, we found fishing gear, fresh food, and betting someone lived there. We bailed quick. Near the back, we saw side-by-sides, probably for patrolling. Then we heard a gate slam 1,000 feet away. A van's headlights flicked on, and we bolted for the woods, unsure if we'd been spotted. Instead of leaving, we stupidly explored the other side, finding more horses and a massive, vine-covered RV, maybe 60 feet long, next to a jet ski, both swallowed by overgrowth. We pried the RV door open quietly, wary of the nearby main house, which looked abandoned but suspicious. Asterisk, near the house, we saw a pristine but dusty Ferrari. Horses neighed loudly, making us jumpy. Further on, we found a boat and a cooler buried in thick brush. The same rotting stench hit us, worse than before. We joked about bodies again, but backed off, not daring to look. Anthony heard rustling, and we all froze, listening. The sounds twigs snapping, maybe hoofbeats felt, amplified by our nerves. We climbed a boulder to scan the property. John went first, then froze, pale as a ghost. I climbed up and saw it, a man at a table with a black cat, his face blank, no eyes. No mouth, just smooth, white skin, maybe bandaged. A woman beside him locked eyes with me and sprinted toward us. We ran, hearing stomps and distant screams, feeling pursued through the woods. We barely made it back to our car, checking we weren't followed. I still can't shake that faceless man or decide if he was real. We'll never go back. Today on the show, we're diving into the world of economic indicators. These are the numbers that tell us how the economy is doing, things like GDP, unemployment rates, and consumer confidence. But what do these indicators really mean? How are they calculated? And how should we interpret them? We'll break it all down for you with the help of some experts to make sense of the numbers that shape our world. The quarry escape asterisk in 2019. My friends Josh, Miles, and I got into cliff jumping after seeing YouTube videos of a quarry in Central Texas, about 30 minutes from home. I was 16, Miles 17. We drove out in his Jeep. The place felt sketchy. From the start, a dirt road circled the quarry, flanked by rusted metal buildings and a fence with no trespassing and blasting zone signs. One cardboard sign read, "Trespassers will be shot." In Texas, that's a real threat, though rare. We parked in a gravel lot by a dilapidated building, grabbed our gear, and walked in. A truck passed us, the driver staring blankly, but he didn't stop, so we kept going. We hopped the fence and hit a small cliff first, spotting a snake in the water after 10 minutes. We moved to a 40-foot cliff, checked the depth, and jumped for an hour before getting bored. Asterisk, at the quarry's end, a black SUV pulled up. A woman, maybe in her 40s, leaned out and yelled, "What the hell are you doing here?" I played dumb, claiming we thought it was public land. She wasn't buying it, grabbed her phone, and said, "Mike, get the rifle, right?" We froze. She drove slowly to a gate, ordering us to follow. We apologized profusely, promising never to return. She said cops were coming and pointed us to a path off her property. We sprinted to the Jeep and peeled out. Months later, Miles convinced me to go back with a bigger group of 5. We parked at a nearby church to avoid license plate trouble and walked in, passing a guy in his 20s who warned us about a black SUV. We laughed, sharing our first encounter, and hopped the fence to a mid-quarry spot. Out of sight, After an hour. A silver van parked 30 yards away, obscured by trees. We packed up, ready to bolt. Then 2 gunshots rang out, close. We ran, hearing more shots, maybe 10 total. I led, with Aiden close behind. We couldn't see the shooter. At the fence, we jumped it, hitting the main dirt road. Luck struck. The guy from earlier was in his truck. We begged for a ride, and he drove us to the lot's edge. We thanked him, ran to my car, and left for good. Those shots still echo in my mind. The lake house mystery in 2018. My cousin Ryan and I were obsessed with urban exploration, old factories, closed schools, crumbling farmhouses. We were cautious, testing floors, wearing masks for dust, avoiding guarded spots. One place haunted us, a massive, abandoned lake house on Lake Marion's shore, hidden behind warped iron gates and overgrown pines. Locals said a rich family lived there in the 80s, vanishing overnight, leaving everything: furniture, photos, clothes. Rumors ranged from bankruptcy to something sinister. No one bought it, so it rotted for decades. We went on a cloudy afternoon, parking at a trailhead a half-mile away and trekking through woods to avoid the road. The house loomed large, 3 stories, peeling paint, sagging porch. We slipped in through an unlocked back door. Inside. The air was heavy with mildew and lake water. The kitchen looked frozen in time. Dishes stacked, a coffee mug with a stained rim, a 1986 calendar open on the wall. The living room had sheet-covered furniture and a fireplace full of ash. Hallway photos showed faded faces at picnics and holidays, giving me chills. Upstairs, one bedroom had a neat bed but empty drawers. Another was carpeted with 1986 newspapers, all open to classifieds for discreet buyers, dated the same June week. The master bedroom had boarded up windows and a padlocked closet with scratched floors, like something heavy was dragged. Ryan wanted to break it open, but I stopped him. No tools, and it felt wrong. We checked the basement last. The door off the kitchen released a damp, moldy smell. The wooden stairs creaked dangerously. Below, stone walls held empty shelves with a few rusted cans. In the center, 6 mismatched chairs formed a perfect circle, oddly clean compared to the dusty house. We froze when a door slammed upstairs, followed by footsteps crossing the floor. We killed our flashlights, hearts pounding. No cars, no sounds until now. The steps paused above the basement door, and the handle rattled. Ryan pulled me to a small, broken window. I squeezed through, cutting my arm on glass, and landed in mud. Ryan followed. We sprinted into the woods, glancing back to see a tall figure in the open basement door, head tilted, watching us. We didn't stop until we hit the car, silent the whole drive home. We later learned from a local forum that others had seen figures there. Squatters. Maybe, but those clean chairs in a circle, that's no squatter's work. We got out alive, and that's enough for me.